All right, welcome to episode 40 of Beers in the Lot. I'm sure you've heard of ESPN's documentary series 30 for 30. Well, this is Beers in the Lot 40s for 40. So we got a very special beer selection this episode. We hit a few subjects before the content became unusable. We talked about playoffs and the Battle of Florida. Colorado is just so good right now. And a few other playoff-related topics. And one more thing, very little cleanup was done on this episode. We wanted to keep it as natural, as flowing as possible. So enjoy, and here we go.
All right. Let's open these.
All right.
Let's do 40s.
Are they all twist offs?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, and this one is a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
It's not even glass.
I think yours is, yeah, that's the best. Yours is plastic.
Hell yeah. Riggs, what do you got?
I have what is called high gravity lager. Known as Steel Reserve.
Nice.
I shared the thing from Urban Dictionary with you guys, right? I have to read the one part where it says, "This is a high gravity lager. That's what they say. After drinking this, you'll feel like someone increased the Earth's gravity field by 70%.
Is that because you'll be face down staring at the ceiling? Or like what? Like
oh, I love it. What do you have, John? I know, but I'm gonna ask.
Yeah. I got a Mickey's fine malt liquor. Delightful. This is I'm actually
also in the bag.
Also in the bag. Actually, so years and years ago, we went out. I never had sushi at this point. I was 21. So it was like kind of like I turned 21 kind of thing, go out for sushi. We had a lot of great memories. There was one guy who said the entire night he was going to come. He kept texting us like, yeah, I'm on my way. So he didn't show. So we all said like, hey, you got to bring a bottle of liquor, like good liquor. And then he showed up. He's like, yeah, I got you guys a bottle of liquor. Don't worry. Like we can pass it around in the lot. And we were like, oh, cool. Maybe it's like Jack Daniels or something. And he just pulled out this bag of Mickey's malt liquor. He goes, you didn't say like what kind of liquor. It's malt liquor. Like, it's liquor. But so, yeah. So I also, and that's my go-to 40. Not that I'm, crushing a ton of those. But yeah, it's not bad considering all. It's not high gravity or anything. Like I'm not that fancy like Riggs. But yeah, fun little backstory. Danny, what are you drinking?
So I feel it's fitting that I chose the Hurricanes to get out of round one. So this is to the Hurricanes. I'm drinking
Nice
Hurricane by Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of fans are buying those at the concession stands.
Yeah,
they sell that at PNC Arena.
It's about as good as you would think.
And it's probably the same price as like an import beer, $28 for a
40
3-ounce can. Yeah, 3-ounce can for $28. Sheesh.
What are you drinking, Aaron?
I have 40 ounces of Miller's Champagne of Beers High Life in celebration of episode number 40.
Yes.
It's a celebration.
But
oh, here we go.
I know where we're going with this, John.
Here come the complaints. Yes, the ABV on this is only 4.2%.
Actually, I wasn't even going to go there. I don't think that's a sanctioned.
I would enjoy that
product.
beer.
I don't think that's a sanctioned product that we said. I believe that was off the list.
He does have
that
one
off the list. The list was old, or was to have 40. That was the list. And I looked. I went looking for Old English, and I couldn't find it.
We have one on standby, right?
I bet I could have found Okie Old English anywhere.
I found it. I found 24-ounce cans of old OE, but I couldn't get a 40 of it. So I needed a 40.
That out and pour the OE in there.
As it was, like I couldn't find 40s at my local places either. I had to, Aaron had to get the Steel Reserve out in West by God.
Hey, that's right. Mine was at Sheets.
I went to like a liquor store I normally go to, like, and I was able to find mine.
Dude, believe it or not, the one that's right around the corner from me, which you would think would be a spot where you would get them, they didn't have them. They had 25 ounces of everything.
Huh.
It was weird.
Yep. So I went looking for OE, couldn't find it. I snagged a 24 though. I've got it in the wings. If it turns out that I can kill his 40 and not be
your effort level is
too inebriated.
Your effort level is a little subpar for my taste.
I do also have to edit this episode, maybe.
You should just tape 2 of those cans together.
Yeah.
48 ounces of OE.
Yeah.
Make your own 40.
Make your own 40. Yeah.
Anyway. In hockey news, playoffs are going on.
Well, don't say the playoffs because one division finished up their regular season tonight. So, one division.
No, hey, one of them is still going. They're still, they're still playing Wednesday. Calgary and Vancouver play tomorrow at noon locally.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You should just make them play tournament style. Just play all your games like over like 2 or 3 days. Just get it over with.
Well, Vancouver actually had like quite a stretch. I forget it. They played something like 12 and 18 or something nuts, like with back-to-backs, and there's a lot of interesting stuff surrounding that organization too. There could be a lot of changes after this season for them too. So I get the feeling they're kind of aching to end the season very quickly. And then you have Montreal and Toronto waiting in the wings to start, along with Winnipeg and Edmonton.
Start it.
Yeah.
Start it. Yeah, who cares what they're doing?
Just go. Like, who cares?
They don't matter.
I guess it. So I was on. I mean, you guys know I was on Mereday's podcast this week, and the first question he asked me was, "Why do you think the NHL was so gung ho about finishing the regular season?" And I was like, probably 2 things. It's probably something with players' contracts, and if they have performance bonus, performance incentives built in, they got to finish out those games because there might be guys that, if they get so many assists or so many points or they play so many minutes or something, they get an extra, 10, 20 grand or something stupid like that. And then those are Canadian market teams, so I'm sure TSN and Sportsnet are very interested in making sure those still get on TV.
Even at noon.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too, I know it's in the CBA, like this year, especially because they're getting like 65 or 75% of their contract. Like if all those players in the Canadian teams don't play the full amount of games and they get it, that's not fair to all the, American-based teams where they played the full 56 and so on. So I think a lot of it's kind of CBA related type stuff. And speaking of CBA, Tampa, what are they, like 17 million over the cap right now? Speaking of the CBA.
Yeah, they had long-term injury reserve recapture from Kucherov and Stammer. So.
Oh, and I know that sounds wrong too. Like I saw that and like part of me is like, I'm sure Kucherov took a big risk because it's hip surgery. He took the entire season off. Now, whether they told him, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hey, how about you come back this date from your surgery and just kind of enjoy long-term injury reserve? I don't know if that's true or not. Whatever. We're not going to get into that.
And the story coming out of there right now is that he's actually been skating for the last 3 weeks or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, he made like 8 practices or something, but also like, who cares? Chicago Blackhawks did it in like 2015 with Patty Kane. He got injured in January. He had no surgery, no rehab, nothing. And miraculously, he came back for the playoffs after they added Kimmo Timonen and Antoine Vermette. So they were over the cap then. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
there are a lot of people that are bent about this, though.
Well,
there are a lot of people that are upset.
But see, the other thing too, like I made a point. I even tweeted it. Like everyone's like, "Oh, I can't believe it! Stamkos and Kucherov are coming back. This is nonsense." I'm like, Braden Point's pretty damn good too. Last time I checked, like,
Yeah, but
he's pretty damn good.
The image is not helped by Kucherov coming back and scoring 2 goals
Yeah.
in the first game.
Right.
And Stamkos looked pretty damn
That's pretty
good.
impressive.
Yeah. And Stamkos actually got on the board tonight too.
Yeah,
So you're right. You're right.
Doesn't look great.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it, but also like there are a lot of teams that do some funky stuff with a cap.
Yeah.
All day, every day. So I'm not. That's why the Penguins have a capologist guy. I'm sure Toronto. I'm sure all the major market teams have somebody who's pretty much in charge of coming up with interesting ways to either, I'm doing air quotes, circumvent the cap, or kind of find creative bookkeeping ways to adjust it. That's why they had the taxi squad half the year. How many guys randomly on off days were like, oh, he's on the taxi squad, now he's back, now he's in the AHL, now it's the same thing.
Speaking of the AHL, you see that thing with Carey Price and who was it? They sent him down to the Rockets.
Yeah,
it's Gallagher. Yeah.
And then Toronto sent Sabrin down, and we all knew who Sabrin is. He's just a tough guy, whatever, grinder, fighter. So they sent him down to the Marlies, and the last game of the American League season for both of those teams was against each other. So there was like a shitstorm on Twitter. Everybody was like, why is Sabrin going down there? If anything happens to Pricer and Gallagher, like, it's a conspiracy, blah, blah, blah.
Well, but it's kind of funny. I remember we made the joke, like, that's a baseball move, like throwing him down for a conditioning stint. I can't remember the last time a player of like Gallagher or Carey Price, well, Freddie Anderson did it earlier too, like a few days ago too. Like, I can't remember, granted this year is like totally different. I can't remember a player like that going to the AHL for a conditioning stint.
Right.
Like ever that I remember in my.
Like has Sid ever like even driven by Wilkes-Barre?
Actually, like, it's funny you mentioned that a few years ago.
Could you imagine
that? Years and years ago. Like, I know Sid's rookie year and maybe 1 or 2 years after, they would do like split squad games in Wilkes-Barre, and they would wear like the baby Penn sweater. So there was one year like Lemieux and Crosby both had those sweaters on. And I remember somebody was like, first and last time. Like, first, because they're going back in the room. They're like, next year I don't want to see these things.
Yeah,
like, get these rags off of me.
The equipment guy was like, please put the used sweaters in this basket over here, and he just threw it in the trash. Sid's not disrespectful.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, Lemieux threw it in the trash. Sid threw it in the laundry pile. I guess.
Sid folded it up and laid it in the trash.
No, he threw it in the laundry pile and then said sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We are a pro AHL podcast. I would also like to say that we really like the AHL. We love it.
I like going to the games, but
yeah.
I think we got to talk about the Hurricanes too.
No, I mean, whatever. They beat Nashville. They played a good game. They pulled away late in the third. Like, I think a lot of people think that Nashville is going to roll over, but I think they're a much better team than people.
They scored first.
For. Yeah, they scored first,
and it was a 1-goal game until like a couple
Nino
minutes through the third.
Yeah, Nino and
Nino Niederreiter
got the 2 separating goals. Yeah.
Who? Oh, by the way, Illuminati moment.
Yep.
Again, I was on Marinay's podcast this week, and I mentioned Nino Niederreiter when I was talking about the Hurricanes recording yesterday, Monday. And guess what happened?
You know?
Sing. Yeah. They also had an empty net. That's a little scummy, but yeah.
Well, we all know where everyone stands on that.
Yeah.
But again, like with Nashville, between Saros and Rene, whoever's hot, and right now Saros has been hot, like they can win games.
Yeah, and too, if you look at their roster, like between Philip Forsberg, Matt Duchene, Ryan Johansson, if the three of those guys can score some goals, just get a little juice flowing, they could be a problem.
Yeah.
Because defensively, they're fine. They're actually a really good defensive team. So
yeah, they got Roman Josie and
Lindholm.
Yeah.
They're a damn good team. They're not bad.
I think all the series have been great actually so far.
Well,
yeah.
I was watching. I've been watching Florida Tampa tonight because I know you guys are watching Pittsburgh game, and Kenny Albert rattled off this statistic that it was some crazy percentage of the total time in the games so far has either been tied or one goal. It's like I want to say he said like 90% or something. I don't forget the exact number because I was trying to get all my gear set up to record, but it basically the majority of the time in all the games so far, and we're only through games 1 and 2 in most series, but been tied or one goal games. So the matchups are great.
I saw a stat. I think it was on the Florida broadcast when I was on a look-in or whatever. One of the games last night was the 4th game in NHL history to have 4 different lead changes or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And that's big. Like, that's a back and forth game. I mean,
which game was
4th time ever. Yeah, I'm not sure which game it was, but it wasn't Colorado. But
no, absolutely not.
No, it wasn't them. We'll talk about them in a minute. But
Wagon.
Yeah.
Runaway train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which game was that? Because I mean, obviously, I watched Washington, Boston, and that was close the whole time.
Let's see. Who was it? Wyatt? No. It's going to be one with a lot of scoring. 4 different lead changes. It had to be Lightning and Panthers in game 1.
That's probably
maybe that's what it was.
That's probably it.
That must.
But I didn't watch that game. We were at 3 of us were at the rink.
Yeah, we were skating.
Yeah. That was judgmental.
No, yeah, let's talk about Colorado because
oh boy,
I watched that game Sunday night. Sunday night. Oh my gosh, that game was it last night?
Monday night. Last night.
Monday night. Whatever. Days are all mixed up. That was such a good game to watch. Like those guys are just so fast. Like that game was faster than any of the other games I watched. They're just so good. So good.
Cale Makar's goal when he shook off, I don't remember who was covering him, but he shook him off and just freaking unleashed a wrister from the slot, dude. It was so nice.
Well, you know what's pretty cool about that? I'm glad he does that because they always talk about Jeff Skinner doing that. Jeff Skinner never scores.
Yeah, because he like Jeff Skinner does the stupid mohawk all the way up and down the ice. He doesn't use it at the right time, right? Like Makar, he's at the top. He has to wheel from the left to the right. So he opens up so he could protect. And then as soon as his stick gets free of that defender, he just rips that shot. And I'm pretty sure somebody went down to block it and it went through them. So Bennington had no chance. He never saw it. Like there's no way.
Lynn and the 2 guys I think that do it, it's like Sid and Makar. But Makar makes it look a little cooler because he's from the point ripping shots on it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing, the 2 of them, when they use it almost like a deke.
Yes.
And they use it to open up space and also get space. So if you're using it that way, great. But if you're Jeff Skinner doing your mohawk the entire way up the ice to look for Jack Eichel, oh, he didn't play this year. Like, it doesn't What?
He did. He got hurt.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then the team
Jeff Skinner got scratched half the year. Sorry.
Then the team wouldn't fix Jack Eichel. But anyway.
He wouldn't fix him.
Speaking of cap problems. Sorry, Buffalo.
But then the coolest thing about that Cale Makar goal, though, the coolest thing was after he scored, he actually celebrated. That kid I've never seen him celebrate a goal. Like, especially in the regular season. He scores,
acts like he's been there.
He'll fist bump guys or whatever and hug and stuff, but he scored and he like backed up to the other wall and he put his arms up and he yelled something at the guys, and that's the first time I can remember ever seeing him celebrate a goal in the National League.
You know, it's kind of funny you mentioned that, and I remember watching a little bit of that game last night and comparing it to like last year. Jared Bednar on the bench looked a little more. He always looks pretty damn serious, I'll be honest. But like last night, you could tell like he almost had this like happy energy, and yeah, they were beating the bag off the Blues, but it almost looks like the team in general, they're having more fun. I don't know if that's 100% true because we're not in the room, but like I almost think like by them doing that, it helps them because they are younger, but maybe that kind of helps them with some of the pressure. Like they're kind of like, hey, if we have more fun and stop taking this all business, that's going to help us.
I think also like they have less problems going into these playoffs. They don't have any guy. Everybody's healthy. Like they're almost fully healthy as far as we know. Like I think that kind of sets a positive vibe. There's no like nagging things going on that they got to worry about. And so they just go play. And I mean, Gabriel Landeskog absolutely feeding Shen.
That's got to give the team
after he took out Rantanen. Like, I think that just set the tone. And it was like, hey, you know, we're not going to get like the Blues are going to have to play very, very physical, like right on the line against a team like that, right? But they're not going to be able to get away with it because, hey, the captain's going to go toe to toe. He's going to go toe to toe and beat the shit out of you, and then we're going to go score 4 goals, right? Like,
yeah.
And like, if you think about, look at teams that win Stanley Cups, right? They can stand up to the physicality and then actually dish it out and like turn that tide against those teams, and then go score goals against
score goals.
Like,
yeah.
So I thought that was huge.
It's kind of funny you were talking about Makar not celebrating. Like that's kind of a thing that, for at least our level of hockey, act like you've done it before. Act like you score. If you're celebrating in beer league, then you know it's like, come on. But when you're scoring in the postseason in the NHL, you can celebrate, Cale.
Yeah,
Go ahead, throw your arms up, dude.
Put your arms
it's all
up.
Good. No one's going to judge you.
Pump a fist. Go down to a knee, man. Like, you know.
Get that Selly game going.
But he doesn't, man. He doesn't celebrate goals. I don't ever remember seeing him celebrate a goal. And I watch a lot of Colorado because I like watching that team. But yeah, like if it was beer league or like Sunday night pickup or something like that, you're celebrating goals.
Oh, get off the ice.
You're getting yelled at. Like both benches are going to be yelling at you.
What about a championship game?
What are those? Huh?
Depends.
It depends on the goal.
What situation? Like
if it's an overtime winner,
at a tournament, sure. At a tournament, maybe
overtime winner on a championship game. Okay.
I mean, I'll
throw
tell
your hands
you
a little bit, but don't go nuts.
There have been goals up at Johnstown at that tournament that I have actually got very excited for when people have scored. Like when we scored to tie it up and we didn't lose the one game.
We didn't lose.
We tied the game with like less than a minute left, so we didn't lose. But it was like a back and forth game, and after it went in, like all of us that were on the ice went nuts and like jumped on top of each other, and it was cool. We're probably still like half drunk, but you know.
Yeah, half the people knew it went in, half didn't.
But that's what I was going to say about the pickup. If you score a goal in pickup, there's 20 guys. Like, there's nobody in the stands.
Just skate
for
away.
One. There's 20 guys there skating. of those 20, maybe like 5 actually are paying attention to the fact that the puck went in. Like,
just skate
nobody
away.
cares. Don't celebrate a pickup goal.
Oh,
skate away. You took the
get rid of the brown bag.
I had to take my koozie off. I had to take my
the brown bag off. What's up? Come on, man. Now I'm the only one.
All right.
That's what we need now. We need a $40 tier of Patreon with a 40-ounce koozie.
Yeah, you get a brown paper bag. You get a brown paper bag. And we'll write
like
we'll write we'll take a Sharpie and we'll write Beers in the Lot on it.
It won't even look like the logo. It's just crudely written on there.
Looks like a child did that with his left hand.
Oh my God.
Mine's going down pretty easy. I'm more than halfway through this thing, I think.
I can't see mine. It's still in the brown paper
It's
bag.
still in the bag. I'm going to be into that 24-ounce OE here in a little bit.
You have High Life.
I got High Life. Yeah, there's nothing to it.
I mean, you're kind of... I'm not saying...
Right,
champagne.
You know what? I'm going to start agreeing with John now. Like,
thank you. Like...
Yeah, Rigo and I have high gravity here. All right, come on.
Like 8.1. Come on. High gravity lager.
Yeah, 40's like what? Half a 6-pack?
Oh,
Ish.
and this
like
bottle, I forgot to mention.
You got 42 ounces.
It's 42 ounces. It's not even 40 ounces. I have two extra ounces.
Extra bonus ounces.
They really call the penalty right now.
Yes.
I mean...
He had his hand on
egregious.
He threw
was
the
it a puck
like
glass?
Tom Brady.
Wait.
He threw the puck like Big Ben. Like
I'm not hold on, I'm not watching.
Like, come on.
I wasn't paying attention. What happened?
No, Brian Russ
game.
He caught the puck.
Come on.
He caught the puck and then closed his hand on it, picked it up and threw it up over his head to throw it over the guy who was trying to keep it in his, it was in his own zone.
Yeah, Brian Russ
cleared his zone, but you can't do that.
He was trying to do the Statue of Liberty play. Like, come on, like you can't do that.
You can't.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like
it's so blatant.
Oh, come on, man.
He lost his mind.
He done fucked up
in that empty net.
He lost his damn mind.
You know who's looked horrible since JT left? Josh Bailey.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but dude, that line.
I'm not saying he's not good, but like I felt he generated more chances with JT.
Well, of course, he's a better player than freaking Pajot and the other one.
Yeah, JGP can shoot, but in terms of his generating skill,
that line, that's a key line for them.
Yeah, because they play both ends of the rink very well.
They need and they're going to be checking Sid.
Yeah.
So they need to be, empty net.
Don't do it.
Aaron's favorite.
Don't do it.
Dude, I said this the other day, though, talking about the Islanders. Like, is it just me, or is there like 5 guys on that team that look just like JTT? Just like Tavares? I mean, physically, like their faces. And maybe it's just because they're all wearing Isles uniforms.
You know who I actually thought it was?
Right, it might be because they're all
couple of them.
It might be because they're all wearing the same clothes.
But really, like, I don't know.
They're all wearing matching kits.
Yes.
Throwing Aaron off.
Oh my God.
They're wearing the same clothes. No, for real though. Like their faces look the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Peace, Islanders.
Well, okay, I'll give you like Kyle Palmieri with no beard. I'll give you that.
Well, with the scruff, like the 5 o'clock shadows. Like there's a couple guys that have that.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And a couple of them look just like him. I don't know.
All right. Next subject.
Same.
Well, I remember at one point they had Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, and like Franz Nielsen, and they all look the same. Like all three of those guys.
Like even skating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
they're all tall, lanky dudes. They all literally wear the same Bauer gear, and they all have those weird shaped schnozzes, like really pointy, and they're all the same.
Florida finally scored.
That's got to be a pain in the ass to do play by play.
What, the numbers don't give it away?
You can't always see their numbers, John.
That's actually why they have the numbers on the helmet now. They were not.
Well,
it's
really easy with your magnifying glass vision to see that.
No, I thought that was for when they did like the bench shots on the TV, then like casual fans or whatever. I thought
it's a TV thing. That's the reason why.
But it wasn't for the broadcasters. Like they know.
No. Yeah, the broadcasters. Have you seen the notes some of those guys have? For a game?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah,
they're pros. Yeah. It's almost like they do it as a career, right? It's like,
yeah, who would think? So weird. So strange.
So strange. They like prepare for their job.
Writing down notes.
What? Speaking of goals, you know who's about to come on? Vegas. They could use some. Oh,
yeah.
Wolf. That Minnesota, I remember.
That's a bad matchup.
That's a horrible matchup for them.
Bad matchup. Like between Vegas and Colorado, I think both of them would have had trouble with Minnesota.
Well, and that's kind of the weird thing. Like Minnesota had Vegas's number. Vegas had Colorado's number all year, even though they were very, very close games. So, like, the three of those teams, it's very tough.
Yeah.
They're all about the same. St. Louis is the outlier, and, they lost the first game. I'm not saying they're going to win any games in the series or even push it to 7, but if there was a team, because St. Louis, the way they're built, they are bigger, they are tougher, like, that's a team that can really push back and cause some problems, and especially if Binnington does get hot.
Yeah, but the problem with that though, again, Colorado came out, took it to them physically,
exactly,
won,
they
and
were
then
not having it,
and then just jammed the puck down their throats. Like they, again, I described it as a runaway train. They are
absolutely.
There's no way the Blues are going to put up any kind of resistance against. Like I'll give them a game. Because Craig Berube's the coach and maybe he can, find a way,
something.
And maybe Binnington can steal a game, but they're not going to make it a series.
Yeah, I don't see him stealing 4 games. They essentially have to steal 4 games.
The problem with that Minnesota team is that they can actually skate with you. Like they have guys that could skate. They have guys that could score. The problem with them is probably in net. Who knows how far Cam Talbot can take them?
That's the wild card for them.
Yeah,
it really is, and especially Minnesota. Like if other people besides Krill, Greenway, Foligno, those guys,
right?
Like if other guys start scoring, like X scoring was like massive for them because he's been on such a cold streak. The fact that he got going, that I wouldn't say that alarms me or anyone that probably picked Vegas, because it's one game, it's a 1-0 game. There was a lot of room for error, and Vegas for the most part did take the game to them. But there's a problem when I did see something like about Fleury with all the flashy glove saves. He was like a kid at a carnival who paid like $1 for 5 saves, like just to saves. Like, so, I don't remember he said that, but like 2 or 3 of them. I mean, like I like Fleury because he seems like a funny guy, but like after like the 3rd one, it was like, all right, dude, can you just catch it and like enough of this?
That's
like,
not him, man. That's his personality.
I know he loves that stuff.
He's always been like that.
Yeah, I know he loves that stuff. So I'm not bagging him too hard, but like. I was more like, all right, we get it. Why doesn't Mark Stone or somebody put a puck in the net? Like, geez.
What is he? 3rd in all-time wins?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah, he's 3rd in all-time.
3rd all-time wins.
It's pretty good.
Most current active playoff wins. He's like, kind of a big deal.
Well,
also, what was it? 15 straight seasons.
Straight seasons. Yeah, who would have thought he ended up with 2 cup contenders Yeah, 2 cup contenders back to back. I mean,
Yeah.
so good on him.
Yeah.
I mean,
15 straight seasons in the playoffs.
That's impressive
Wild.
in general, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah.
Wild.
he was a big.
So his first trip to the playoffs it wasn't his rookie year.
No.
No.
2 years after? 1 season after.
Couple years. Because they were bad.
It was like 2.
It was
they were real
07.
bad. Yeah.
So they made the playoffs first in 07. That was Flowers' like second or third year ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, because they played 07, lost to Ottawa. 08, they went to the Cup final, lost to Detroit. 09, went back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then just started that run. But also, everybody, we all kind of sit here and pine, Flowers third in all-time wins. A lot of people, like, in Pittsburgh, they clearly don't remember this, and I kind of, like, laugh about it. There was a chunk in the middle there, in between 09 and 2016, when they won the other cups. They were really bad, like, in the playoffs, like, Flowers especially. Like,
but they were bad. Like, they just
the team was not bad. No,
they just didn't have all the right.
They didn't have and Flower
pieces.
took a ton of heat for that.
Of course,
he took all the heat for that, especially that Philadelphia series where neither goaltender could stop a beach ball. Like, it was that bad.
Every game was like 7-5.
Well, yeah, because Pittsburgh got blown out like 8-1, and then the next game they won like 8-1. It's like, this doesn't it doesn't make sense.
That's the thing in Pittsburgh. Like, look at Murray.
Yeah.
Look how quick they were to jump ship on him.
He got ran out of town.
Ran out of rail.
They sent him down the Three Rivers on the Gateway Clipper. On the Gateway Clipper, they packed him up and threw him out.
After game 1 of this series, they were bagging on Jari.
Wow, John, you even posted that meme, the meme of like Scooby-Doo meme. All right, let's see who you really are.
But
it was Murray.
That was in fun.
He legitimately lost that first
game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He lost that because they dominated that game. They had the puck the whole time, and he lets in those 2 soft wristers, high glove side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the one that wasn't even heavy. It was screened, sure, but it wasn't even that heavy.
Was it screened?
And it just went through. Yeah,
was it screened?
See, and the other
it was screened around Letang, but still, I mean,
I'm not a goaltending
It basically
guy.
hit him.
Yeah, I'm not a goaltending guy, but I've been on this soapbox for many years. And Eric and I remember years and years ago when we went to our hockey clinic, there was a goalie coach talking about how he's educating his players. Instead of holding your glove at 3:00, hold it up at 2. Because you can make some of those ear saves a little quicker.
It's not just a goalie coach.
Which one was that? Was that Starman?
It's not just a goalie coach. It is Dave Starman.
It was Dave Starman.
If you watch any college hockey on TV, he mentions that probably every game. Because almost every game there's, all the college kids basically play the same way, and they, especially the USA kids, they hold their glove in a certain spot.
Yep.
And it's not exactly where he would like it. Again, like, we're not goalie people, so we don't know. Maybe we should ask Goody or something. But and he'll talk about that every game. Now, so my thing is, when Matt Murray was there, didn't he have a problem with the glove side?
Yep.
Too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's the goalie coach in Pittsburgh?
That is Michael Buckley.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe he shouldn't be the goalie coach.
Oh, okay. I'm just over here enjoying this nice 40.
Are you really enjoying it?
Absolutely not.
All right, that's a wrap on Beers in the Lot 40s for 40. There was so much more funny stuff that happened when we were recording, but as the great philosopher of our time, Billy Joel, once said, if you're going to have a hit, you got to make it fit. But our Patreons can listen in live while we record and hear it all. Just saying. Check it out on Patreon, beersinalot.com/Patreon. And also check out our Discord, beersinthelaw.com/Discord. You can jump in and see what we were talking about leading up to this episode. A couple of our guests hang out in there, and we have some pretty good banter with them. So be sure to check it out. As always, thank you for listening to our show. We'll catch you next week.